Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, Orcs Magic, and it's Jordan here, and we are continuing our beautiful series of our upgrades to the Planeswalker intro decks for the Hour of Devastation. And so, if you have missed the first video, please go to the description box, the link will be in there for you to go see it. That is for the Nissa Genesis Mage deck. And so this time we are looking at Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver. So, just to quickly go over the rules again, we got to keep the unique cards of the deck in our lists, and apart from that, we get to upgrade it how we feel, and all these upgrades are easily obtainable via trades and cracker packs and various other methods. So, let's get straight into it. So, the unique cards of the deck itself, we have, of course, Nicol Bolas, the Deceiver. He is a 8 mana Planeswalker, that is 5 and a Grixis, starting off a 5 loyalty. His +3, basically your opponent's going to lose 3 life unless they sacrifice a non-land permanent or discard a card, which is highly unlikely. They're probably most likely going to discard a card, let's be honest. It's -3 ability, you get to destroy target creature, and you get to draw a card from that, and if you manage to get him up to 11, you get to deal 7 damage to each opponent, and you get to draw 7 cards, which is effectively what a Grizzlebrand does, effectively, so which is not too bad on a stick. Looking at the first of the unique cards that belong to the Nicol Bolas deck, we have Wasp of the Bitter End. It's a 2-drop Insect Horror, and it's a 2/1 flyer. And whenever you cast a Bolas Planeswalker, you may sack Wasp of the Bitter End, and if you do, you get to destroy target creature. So if you got a few of these on the board, you can essentially sack them, destroy a few creatures, make sure you've got some sweet value from it, and that way they can't swing in and kill Nicol Bolas on the crackback. The next unique card to the deck is Zealot of the God-Pharoh. Now, Zealot of the God-Pharoh gives you a 4-drop for a 4/3, and you can pay it 4 and a red, and you'll deal 2 damage to target opponent. So you're effectively paying 5 mana for a shock. Not too great, but late game it is a decent body and can trade up quite nicely, so it's not too bad. And finally, our last unique card for the deck is Visage Bolas, which is a 4 mana artifact, which when it enters the battlefield, you may search a library or graveyard for a card named Nicol Bolas the Deceiver, and if you search your library this way, you have to shuffle it, and the artifact can tap to add a 1 blue or a black or a red mana to your mana pool. It's a sweet artifact. It does have fixing for your late draws, so it's not too bad. So all round is not a bad card. So going on to the upgrades of the deck, obviously the way I've done my first video, I'm going to carry on, and so I'm going to discuss firstly, what did we drop from the deck? So we removed 2 Marauding Bone Slashers, 2 Kenran Eternals, and 2 Cinder Barons. So not much change on the deck. The reason why is that I do play a standard Grixis control deck, and this is actually quite a good budget alternative, and it just needs a little tweaking here and there. So, what did we put into the deck? Well, we increased the Amit Eternals by another 2. This brings it up to 3 in total. Reasons why: this is a good 3-drop creature that's a 5/5 with Afflict free, which is very nice for getting damage on your opponent. But it does have the downside of whenever an opponent does cast a spell, you get a -1 counter on it. But if it deals combat damage to a player, you get to remove all the -1 counters. So it kind of does balance out in the long run. But all in all, it's a very sweet creature to begin with. We then have 2 Ethersphere Harvesters. Reason why I like this card, because it is a good aerial blocker, and it also gains us some life, which can be very useful in the long game strategy. And so we are running 2 of those, and our final card we have put into the deck is a 2-off of Evolving Wilds. Reasons why is that I think it's better to reduce the Cinder Barons and actually have Evolving Wilds to get your mana fixing, to make sure you're never going to be mana screwed on the double blacks and the red spells. And from there, we then move on to adding a sideboard into the deck, as we did with our first one. And so what I have done with this one is I have added in 2 Magma Sprays. Reasons why is that this is good for getting rid of those pesky returning from the graveyard creatures. I then have 4 shocks. Reasons why for this is that I like to have damage on board to do to an opponent's face, and if not, to do damage to planeswalkers. So it can be very useful in the long run. I then have 2 supernatural staminas. This just helps, sort of allows us to trade up our creatures, so bringing back an Amit Eternal as well, which would be very useful. We then run 3 Trespassers Curses. Benefit with this is that obviously it puts pressure on our opponent when they do play creatures, they are going to lose life. And then finally we have 4 Yahani's Expertise. Reasons why is that I like this as a good board wipe. It can do quite some good damage, and we also get to free cast a spell, so we can effectively maybe wipe the board and then getting an Amit Eternal out of the deal, which would be very nice. If not, maybe just getting a Trespasser's Curse onto the board for free, also very useful. So that is my take on the Nicol Bolas the Deceiver upgrade deck. I find it's very more controlling. The way I'd like to do it myself, if I had unlimited upgrades, would be go more spell heavy, but that's the style I like to play. This is quite a big afflict mechanic, which is very sweet in the long run and played very well in limited. So I think there is definitely a deck you can construct around this quite nicely. So, as I said last time, please go check out my fellow content creators and make sure you check out their videos and their takes on their approach to this deck. I'm very intrigued to see how they do take on Grixis control quite nicely. And so that is it. I have been your host Jordan from Orcs Head Magic, signing off. Thank you for watching the video. Please remember to hit that like button, it supports the channel for free. Also subscribe, and remember, if you don't want to miss any videos, hit the bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Thank you for watching again, goodbye.